feeling super fine. Let's go, don't got no time, yeah. Turn it up, I'ma strut my stuff. You see me walking on the block, can't get enough. Like, nobody can touch me. They wanna be like me, but I got no time to get up, get up, get up. Now let's go. We gotta move on up. We gotta move on up. We gotta move on up. We gotta.
Play me for.
It's go time.
We gotta move on up. We gotta move on up.
Call me.
We gotta move on up. We gotta move on up. Now let's go.
Beautiful.
Get up.
Wow.
Get up, let's go.
Decent cross, wasn't going for it. Up towards goal. That's a superb finish.
When it's go time to supercharge your hustle, make it go time for GoTV.
Get up, now let's go.
Love it.
Looking for a one-stop shopping destination for all things made in Ghana? Eager to experience a remarkable fair that showcases the richness, creativity, and innovation behind Ghanaian products and services? Then get ready for the This is Ghana Exhibition 2025. The This is Ghana Exhibition highlights the brilliance of Ghanaian entrepreneurs, artisans, and businesses who continue to shape the narrative of homegrown excellence. This is Ghana's biggest trade fair and exhibition, bringing together SMEs, startups, research and manufacturing sectors, indigenous corporate bodies, and local creatives in one exciting space. The This is Ghana Exhibition 2025. Come explore, engage, and be inspired by the businesses and brands that are redefining Made in Ghana across every sector. The dates: Saturday the 6th and Sunday the 7th of September 2025. Time is 10 a.m. through till 5 p.m. each day. The venue is the A4 Sutherland Children's Park. For inquiries or participation details, call us on 0205 973 973. The This is Ghana Exhibition 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 City FM and is proudly sponsored by MTN, EcoBank, and Side Hassle from EK Brand Consult.
And if you hear that ever dirge, it tells you that we are doing a program in the memory of the eight persons who lost their lives last week when a Ghana Armed Forces military chopper crashed somewhere around Obuasi, claiming all lives on board. And it has been a very devastating one. I remember hearing that news, and it was crashing. At least 4 of the persons who've passed. Very, very, very sad indeed. Let me introduce my colleague, Fred Tetejaban, who is in studio with me to do this. Sami Wiafi has gone on a sabbatical, but Fred is here. Fred, how are you doing?
I'm doing, Omar. How are you?
I'm okay. It's been a very difficult week, hasn't it?
Yes, it's been about a week and some days since this tragic incident took place. Since then, a lot of tributes have been pouring in for these 8 gallant men who were on national duty and sadly lost their lives in this crash. From Tuesday, after the incident, on Tuesday, the whole issue was, is it true, is it not true? Has it taken place, has it not taken place? After the confirmation, it's been sadness. The atmosphere, the environment has been really sad. People have been pouring out tributes to these 8 gallant men. In the course of the week, close to the weekend, there was a memorial event held at the State House where the President and other officials of state were in attendance to remember these 8 men. These 8 men including the former Defense Minister, Edward Omanibuama, the former Environment Minister, Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, Alhaji Munir Mohammed, who was a Deputy National Security Coordinator, Dr. Samuel Sapon, who was the Vice Chairman of the NDC, Mr. Samuel Boaje, he was a Deputy Director General at NADMO, Squadron Leader Peter Anala, who was the pilot of that particular helicopter, Flying Officer Chum Ampedu, and Sergeant Ernest Adomensa, who were the officers from the Ghana Air Force manning the helicopter on that day, that very sad day. So, I mean, a lot of tributes have been pouring out, and it's during these times where you get to hear of a lot of stories which you've never heard of, how these people affected and impacted the lives of other people that you never even thought of or never would even think about. You've seen so many people talking about receiving help from these men. You've heard stories of how they were very diligent at their work, how they loved the state, how they sacrificed to do so many things for family, for friends, for the country Ghana. So it's been really a very difficult moment for the entire country, for the families of these people, for the party which they belong to, and even just not even the party, but then the general political sphere, where you even have people from opposing sides telling you about these men and their relationships with these people who are into politics.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Fred, so I mean, I remember you called me. I was in the village mourning myself when you called me to talk about this missing helicopter and the suspicion that Edward Omanibuama may be on board. I remember when you told me, I decided to tune off because I didn't want to think about it. And at the time, the information was that there were 4 ministers at a go. I was a bit worried. So Dr. Omanibuama, the last time I saw him was a month ago. I had gone for the GIS graduation for the Jennifer Anum, whom we sponsored and supported to go to GIS. And he had come there because his daughter was graduating. And funny enough, I had gone to GIS a month prior. His daughter was my chaperone. She was made to take me around when I had to speak to the students and all of that. And he had come for the graduation of another child of his. And afterwards, I approached him, we spoke, and then I said, Doc, this girl, Jennifer, she has finished GIS. She wants to go forward, but it's going to be a difficult one. I want to see if you can help. And he said, of course, he was watching from the crowd when her story was told. And he said, Sanda, let her apply to the scholarship secretariat and let me know when that happens so that I would speak to the coordinator to see if they can support her. I remember that was it. And even before then, I had gone to MC the One Ghana movement event where Obasanjo was a guest speaker. He was there as a Minister for Defense because we did it at the Armed Forces Command and Staff College. I remember when I introduced him, I said, let's welcome the Minister for Defense, who is a medical doctor. And he laughed and he said, you think a doctor cannot be Minister for Defense? You know, and we had that relationship. I mean, he's a great guy. I've known him from when he was Deputy Minister for Environment, I think, and then till when he became Minister for Defense. After Murtala Mohammed, you and I we saw him together the last time we saw him at Parliament House. We had gone to interview the majority whip when we encountered him. He is ever bubbly, ever loud, ever laughing, ever infectious with his laughter, ever happy. That's what I remember. I mean, I've known Murtala from when he was, I mean, he used to be a party communicator, appearing on radio programs. At the time, we used to bring him on our show. He goes on other stations. Then he was named Deputy Minister, and then he went to fight for the Nanton seat, and he won and came to Accra and then lost that seat and went back and now returned as Tamale Central MP. He calls me his in-law because he's Dagomba, my wife is Dagomba. He talks about that. And I think his wife is also Fulani also, so he and I usually joke about these things. There was a time I went to Tamale. He insisted that I had to come and see his house. I went to his home, met him, we spent some time together. He is a very, very sociable person, a very kind-hearted person. And a lot of his colleagues will say to you that he's one of the genuine guys in politics, and we've heard and seen things like that. Alhaji Mohammed Muniru, last time I saw him was November. I had gone to MC the Fulani Youth, the Fulani Association had organized a program in Ho. The second lady at the time, Samira Bawumia, was there, Haja Samira Bawumia, and members of the New Patriotic Party. Then President Mahama, who was at the time Kande Mahama, was on the campaign trail. He could not attend. So he sent Alhaji Mohammed Muniru as his representative to come to that event at Ho. I remember vividly. And when I introduced him and he came on the stage, then he said to me, Umaru, I'll summon you. You know, and I said, why? And he said, I am a chief now. He didn't give me the chieftaincy title that I earned. He is taking up a chieftaincy title somewhere in the Savannah region. You know, Kuawura or something like that, I've forgotten. And we joked about it. And so these are people we've known at close quarters, people we engage with a lot of the times. And it's so sad that they go the way they went. It is painful because they are high-ranking officers. I mean, the Minister for Defense is like our main person, of course, after the president. And when it comes to the defense of the nation, it is a painful one. But as Muslims, we say that Allah gives and He takes. So, and kulizza in every soul shall taste death. We always say that. So I can just say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. God has given them to us, and He thought that this is a time to go, and God knows best, and we can't really say much, Fred.
I mean, you summed everything up. You've spoken about our relationships with these people, and how we've known some of them in very close quarters. Like you said, God gives and it's God who takes. Sometimes it's difficult to accept the fact that God gives and God will take the way He does. But the question is, who are we to also question God for some of His decisions? In this very trying moment, we'll just pray for peace and comfort to the families of these people. You know, as the nation mourns, there are people who mourn more than everyone, and there are people who would miss these people more than everyone. Yeah. And in this very difficult moment, we pray that they find comfort and find the strength to be able to move on.
So let's do a quick summary of events as we've seen them so far. So since the helicopter crashed on Wednesday, what has been happening so far? We have a summary for you by Channel One News' Jude Duncan.
A week ago, the country was hit with the devastating news of a helicopter crash that claimed 8 lives. The victims on board the Z-9 military helicopter were scheduled to attend the launch of the Responsible Cooperative Mining and Skills Development Program in Obuasi in the Ashanti region. Minutes into the program, officials began receiving distress calls about a helicopter crash at Adansi Ekrofum, specifically in the small town of Sikaman. On board the flight were the Defense Minister, Dr. Edward Kofi Omane-Boamah, the Minister of Environment, Dr. Ibrahim Mutala Muhammad, the Acting Deputy National Security Coordinator, Alhaji Limuna Miniru Mohammed, and the NDC National Vice Chairman, Dr. Samuel Sapon. The others included Deputy NADMO Director Samuel Abuaje and 3 flight crew members, Squadron Leader Peter Anala, Flight Officer Main Chum Ampedu, and Sergeant Ernest Ado Mensah. The tragic news was announced to the nation by the Chief of Staff, Julius Debra.
I have the unpleasant duty, sadly, to announce a national tragedy involving the crash of a military helicopter this morning around the Adansi area in Ashanti region. Government regrets to announce the demise of the following persons in the tragic crash: Dr. Edward Kofi Omane-Boamah, Minister for Defense; Alhaji Dr. Ibrahim Mutala Muhammad, MP, Minister for Environment, Science and Technology. Alhaji Muniru Muhammad Lemonad, Acting Deputy National Security Coordinator and former Minister for Food and Agriculture. Dr. Samuel Sapon, Vice Chairman of the National Democratic Congress. And Mr. Samuel Abuaji, a former parliamentary candidate. Squadron Leader Peter Bafemi Anala, Flying Officer Manin Chum Ampedu, and Sergeant Ernest Ado Mensah. The President and government extends our condolences and sympathies to the families of our comrades and the servicemen who died in service to the country. All flags are to fly at half-mast until further notice. Thank you.
Proceeded to officially inform the families of the affected victims about the incident. On Thursday, 7th August, government honored the memory of the victims with a flower laying and candle lighting ceremony at the Jubilee House. An evening of reflection and a memorial ceremony was also held in honor of all 8 victims at the forecourt of the State House last Saturday. The government, through the Interior Minister, announced that the charred bodies of the victims had been sent to South Africa for DNA testing. Dr. Ibrahim Mutala were subsequently buried at the military cemetery in Accra on Sunday, 10th August. The government is scheduled to hold a state funeral ceremony for all 8 victims of the crash on Friday, 15th August 2025. A week after this heartbreaking incident, the Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General William Ejapon, is urging the media and analysts to be circumspect in their commentary regarding the crash, adding that the Ghana Armed Forces remain committed to conducting a thorough and comprehensive investigation.
Advising and encouraging some of your media practitioners to be circumspect in the way they are reporting this particular incident. I'm referring to the accident that cost us 8 lives.
So that's Jude Duncan's summary of events so far, ending there with the Chief of Defense Staff. Fred, I think the most controversial part has been how the bodies were conveyed from the accident scene. And I think the CDS responded to that.
Yes, he did. He did. The concerns were how come the bodies of these men were put in a sack and brought down the hill or the mountain. And the CDS, in explaining, said that they had body bags, but at the time, the temperature or the heat
from the
bodies could not get them to put them in the body bags. That's why they placed them in the, what do you call it, the sacks.
The cocoa jute sacks. But Fred, the people we saw carrying the sacks were not soldiers, or is it that they were soldiers but not dressed as soldiers?
They were farmers.
So why is the armed forces responding in defense of what was done by farmers? And I'm not sure by the time they carried those bodies, the soldiers had arrived.
So when you watch the videos which came out, the people who got up there included the regional minister, some police officers, and I think 1 or 2 military officers who went and climbed the mountains up to where they found the wreck and the bodies laid there. In the explanation given to us by the regional minister, he explained that at the time when they looked at the situation, they looked at the time and the weather, it looked like it was going to rain. They didn't think that it was right to leave the bodies there because they don't know what would have happened to the body. They were scared or maybe washed away where by the time they would come the next day. So the only thing available at the time, this is according to the regional minister, was that the jute bags, the sacks, would be used to convey the people.
So wait, so the people who carried the bodies in the sacks, they did that on the instructions of the regional minister, you think?
Yes.
But soldiers had not gotten there by then, had they?
There were two. In the video, you see about 2 military men, but you cannot say at the time whether it was a directive from the military high command or from the
My reason is,
minister.
if the CDS is defending this, it's almost as if they are the ones who did it and people are blaming them. Because if the farmers in a village decide that, I mean, where I grew up at Astraya Junction, there's a place called Gigedukun Junction. I remember almost every other week, there's a road accident there. And when we hear the crashing noise, we hear wailing, and then neighbors would go there and go and help remove the people who are trapped. Their belongings are taken with them if they are in good state. These vehicles remain there for a long time. Now, first responders to that accident scene, I'm sure, were not the soldiers, were not police. So if the farmers, when they got there, and usually when people are trapped, the locals use all manner of means to remove them and try and help them. And the dead people are put on the floor and covered with leaves, neem tree leaves, a lot of the times. So if these people, the farmers, in their estimation, thought we need to carry these bodies downhill, and the best way to do it is to put it in a cocoa sack, I'm wondering why government, and for that matter, the armed forces, is the one explaining that this is why you did, when you were not really the one who called the shot for that. This was the thinking of a farmer who has seen somebody dead. They may not even know who those people were at the time.
But Sandra, at the time that was done, you had officials of government
on the scene.
On the scene.
So it was officially sanctioned then?
So it was officially sanctioned. That's why maybe you have the...
So if that's the case, why were the farmers rather doing the carrying and not the soldiers or the other security personnel who were there?
As I told you, when you look in the video, at least the short video which was shown, which we saw, there were about 2 military men, and I don't think 2 military men could carry everything. The videos we saw, we're all not there. We don't know how they convey the rest. Well, just 2 people we saw carrying those things. So we cannot say whether the other security officers who were there helped or did not help.
Yesterday, I interviewed Colonel retired Sogbajo, and I tried to understand from him whether we could have done anything better than we did. And he gives me the impression this was the best option available, because the crash happened on top of a mountain. It would take 1.5 to 2 hours to get there by foot. He said it would have been pointless sending another helicopter there. That's what he said to me, because it will contaminate the crime scene. He also said there's no point sending a drone there. The best option available was what we saw, where the people had to walk and go up there 2 hours. And so he said we can't also say we are going to train every Ghanaian everywhere about how to respond to accident scenes. A lot of the times when accidents happen, Ghanaians we love to help, so we jump in and then assist. And that is exactly what these farmers do. So we can't say we're going to educate everybody. Again, we can't say we're going to put soldiers in every village anticipating that a helicopter may fly past and crash. So he says we have done the best we could, and we need to tap ourselves on the back. We shouldn't beat ourselves. And people are in a hurry to know what else has happened or what we need that for, he says. For instance, the investigators who do the investigation, why do we want to know what happened, how come the flight went down and all of those things? I don't know what you think, but should we say we've done a great job, let's move on? The jute sack thing, he said it wasn't a big deal and all of that. People were complaining about that bitterly. He thinks it's not a major issue. And again, this is not the first time that we are seeing a crash like that. And he also wants us to trust the armed forces, and for that matter, the Air Force, because they have been flying since Kwame Nkrumah's time, and they're the ones who've been flying the VVIPs. So is it a case that people who are blasting the officialdom are engaging in much ado about nothing?
I don't think so. For me, I think that there's people are raising issues of dignity, and we need to respect that. Even as media men, we should have been the first people to even stop the videos from being aired, which we failed. And I think the media has learned enough. We've apologized for it. So yes, there's a learning in every situation. We could have done better. For me, the investigations, the explanations, the questions is all about what can we do better next time? How can we handle these issues better next time. When it happens, what should be done? So for me, I don't think it's an issue of criticizing or blaming. It's an issue of having to learn and improve so that we hope this never happens again. But in the situation that it happens, the things is we need to know, how do we approach it? How do individuals, even citizens, I always say that when you go outside and go to the Western world, people are taught how to do basic CPR. How many of us know how to do CPR? But these are taught in schools. First aid. In accidents, how do you attend as a first respondent to the place? What do you do? No, we need to learn all of these. But we shouldn't make this particular issue of you didn't do this right, you didn't do that right, this should be done. No, for me, I disagree with that. For me, I think that the questions, the answers, the investigations is to let all of us learn going forward to deal with this properly. Okay.
There's a situation room on Channel 1 television. So the Muslim funeral happened over the weekend for the Muslims who were part of the 8, and that should be, what, 3 of them are Muslims or 2? 2. So they have been laid to rest. Tomorrow we'll see the funeral of the non-Muslims, which is happening tomorrow. When we come back, I'll tell you about what the government's arrangement is, and also we'll have a conversation with by-election. One of them was a member of parliament, and the constitution is clear. When a member of parliament dies, there has to be an election to replace them. We'll talk about that. Please stay.
This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go!
It's on SuperSport all season long. Pay your subscription today. Dial *759#. Available on DSTV and GoTV.
On the Upside Down Show this week, we present to you the bold, vibrant, and brilliant Anita Esking. Expect nothing short of real talk, raw truths, and revelations. We always need that one opportunity to sprout, and she, like any other, isn't an exception. Ghana made me, she said.
My career started here.
Here in Ghana.
Right. Ghana is my foundation, 150%.
Great.
Home is what built me.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Ghana is what built me. If you see Anita and who Anita is today, it's because Ghana built me. Yeah, 100%.
To the land.
You know?
Right.
So love you, Canada, but Ghana built me.
And even though she's perceived as a superwoman, she's had to make tough decisions at some point.
I had to take 2 steps back away from my career. And also, and this is what I share with a lot of my friends and my colleagues now, is a wonderful appreciation that in different phases of your life, you are a particular person.
Right.
You don't have to be the same person you were before that.
Exactly.
You have nobody to please.
So, set your reminder and join us at 7 p.m. this Sunday, only on Channel 1 TV.
All institutional tributes from the various institutions that our departed comrades work with or associated with will be read during the pre-burial period before 9 o'clock. After the service, the bodies of the 6 that are yet to be buried would be conveyed to the military cemetery at Chado for burial. And there as well, the Ghana Armed Forces, together with the churches of the 6 departed comrades, would take charge of the burial ceremony at the military cemetery. Because of the rather large number of people that will be expected tomorrow, a number of measures have been taken to ensure that we have a very solemn ceremony.
So that's Deputy Chief of Staff Stanislav Hoyce Dogbe addressing the media ahead of tomorrow's funeral. So, Fred, the funeral will happen tomorrow, but the other issue has to do with the replacement for the Tamale Central Member of Parliament. While we mourn and while we grieve, it's a democracy, so we have to find a replacement. Even the president, when he passed in 2012, had to be replaced. So there's a conversation around the by-election to replace Alhaji Mohammed.
Yes, and don't even forget that before this tragic incident, there was been the passing of the Akwetia MP, and then there were preparations and plans to organize a by-election on September the 2nd, and that process is still ongoing, just before Dr. Muntala also lost his life. So the law is clear that when a sitting member of Parliament loses his life, once Parliament is informed officially of it, Parliament informs the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission has, I think, 60 days to organize a by-election, about 2 months, a month or two, to organize a by-election to replace this particular member of Parliament. And so now we have 2 by-elections which are expected to take place. And in the conversations, there have been people who are now suggesting that, look, once there's a seat for the MPP, which is Akwetia, and there's a seat for the NDC, which is Tamale Central, both parties should withdraw from each side. So the MPP will not contest Tamale Central, which they have already announced that they are not contesting. Then the NDC also would withdraw from Akwetia, so that election also goes on peacefully.
Okay.
The argument of some of these people include resources, that there's so much resources spent during by-elections. The other argument is that, look, usually during by-elections, we have a lot of violence. So to curtail this violence, why don't you allow the party which has the MP in power to just replace so that there's peace?
Okay. Okay.
You save resources, there's peace. Then there's another group of people who disagree with this particular argument. They claim we are in a democracy, and to deepen democracy, we have to bear the cost of that. You send somebody into Parliament on a ticket of the party, but it's an individual. So the individual's name is put on the ballot sheet. When he's no more, why do you bring somebody else without the consent of the people who sent the old person there? So, to deepen democracy, let the people choose whoever they want. Maybe the people didn't choose the person based on political party leanings. It may be because they just like the personality of the old person. So allow the people to make a choice by themselves.
Okay, let me engage the political actors now. Rashid Tanko served as a deputy to the late Dr. Edward Omani Boama in the election directorate, research directorate of the NDC. Alhaji, you're welcome to Channel 1 Newsroom, and our condolences once again to you.
Thank you, Mar Sanda. Let me say good afternoon to you and then your co-panelists, my co-panelists in there, and your cherished viewers across. And then also let me take the opportunity let you have my condolence, Umar.
Okay. Thank you so much. The conversation around the by-election in Tamale Central, it's too early for us to even be discussing this, but it's been necessitated by the fact that your opponents have said they are pulling out, or they are not even contesting. I don't know what, as a party, I've heard your chairman say that, well, you are still going to Akwatia, but the decision to pull out of Tamale Central, what do you make of it?
Umar, MPP, they should not be trusted with statement as of now. Any statement emanating from MPP should not be trusted at all, because time and again, they have shown that you should not trust any statement coming from them. Umar, just recently we held a rerun of Ablikumanov, of which they held press conference, in fact, addressed by the General Secretary himself, announced to the whole world that they were not participating in that election, and that they will not participate. They even went ahead and filed a writ High Court trying to injunct the process. Unfortunately, they lost it. The trial judge refused to grant them the relief they were looking for and asked the Electoral Commission to proceed with the election. They went ahead and announced at the constituency that they would not participate in it. They don't respect the processes, what the EC was going to do. Little did we know that less than 12 hours to the election, they somersaulted and participated fully. In fact, even aspirants to their presidential bid as of now were all there, contributing money upon money to the candidate to the tune of almost 1 million Ghana cedis. And the following day, they fielded all these party agents in the 19 areas. And you saw the likes of Howard Kumsin and Co. came there, and even it ended up some disturbances that all of us were not interested and happy with. So this is the political party we are talking about.
So you don't trust their announcement that they are not running?
I don't trust it a bit, because this is, I say, the same statement, current one that we are talking about, is signed by the same General Secretary, of which they defy his orders and other things, and went ahead and participated in that election. So if we hadn't prepared ourselves very well for that election, and we're lying down thinking that, oh, MPP is not contesting, so there's no need to do anything, we would have been laughing at the wrong side of our mouth in that rerun in Ablekumanov. But we knew that these people, we cannot trust them. It appeared they have leadership crisis as of now. So whatever is emanating from leadership, some other group of the party don't respect it. And I can stick up my neck, depending on what happened previously, that look, these people, let's watch them until we file nomination for Tamale Central and you don't see Kukurudutin there, that you cannot trust their statement was true. Because these people can do anything last minute and come out with it. In any case, why would they even want to issue a statement in the midst of mourning, when we are mourning our heroes who work for the country, and tragical that, of course, they are part and parcel of our mourning, the MPP. Yesterday, they were in our office to mourn with us and other thing. What surprises us is that in the midst of this, why will you be issuing statement to do propaganda? Pure propaganda.
There are some views that what they have done is to wash your back, and so you should also wash their back by pulling out of Akwatia. Your chairman has said you are still going to Akwatia. Why?
Yes, Umar, Akwatia, we consider Akwatia as an inconclusive election because we were protesting that election in court. In fact, we filed a writ in Kufridwa High Court, election petition against an Escumi declaration. And even there was a contempt case against him. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court vacated that contempt case against the gentleman and asked him to go back to Kufridwa to continue the election petition thing. So we're with him in Kufridwa High Court over the election petition because we believe that the election was rigged. We have evidence and we're going to present the evidence before the trial judge on the issue. Unfortunately, our young brother lost his life. So the matter became moot. So as a political party, we believe that we won the seat and the people needed the NDC representation in parliament on that seat. And so when this matter came in, we went ahead and elected our parliamentary candidate because we know we are going to win that seat. But MPP, knowing very well that they have little chance of winning Akwatia, and they have not even dog chance at all in winning Tamale Central, decided to do this kind of propaganda. We are not going to fall into that kind of trap. The invitation they are extending to us, we have declined that invitation.
Okay.
Because Look, there's no way they can win Tamale Center. With their 16,000, we have 52,000. Even if they get 100% of vote turnout for them, they will still be 32,000, while we are 52,000. They can't come closer to us.
I see.
But Akotia, they know that the areas where they did the overvoting, where we have the evidence and wanted to present it before the trial judge, this time around, they will not have that laxity to do that kind of overvoting in those areas. And that is a bigger problem for them. So they know.
Okay, let's talk.
Going to Akotia is not good for them.
Let's talk about the future. There's a view that, listen, if a party loses an MP, the Constitution says let's replace them. The process of replacement, the Constitution is silent. And that the proposal is that let's let the party that lost an MP replace that MP, and not a contest at all to save money, the violence that characterizes a by-election, all of that would go. What is your personal view on this? Should it be something we should consider in the future, that if MPP loses a sitting MP, let MPP find a replacement, and if NDC loses, let NDC find a replacement, and vice and so on?
Omar, for now, there is an ongoing constitutional review committee led by Professor Prempe. The issue you are talking is constitutional. And you and I, you know, unless an amendment is occasioned to these clauses, the enabling clauses that allow us to do these elections, we cannot do anything about it.
No. After the replacement is constitutional. I'm talking about the mode of the replacement, so that NPP says they are not going for Tamale Central by-election, then NDC automatically wins. If NDC says they are not going to Akwetia, NPP automatically wins. That should be like a gentleman's agreement. It shouldn't be in law. What do you think?
Well, I will have difficulty in understanding this, because don't forget, they vote personalities before even parties come as second. That is why we have skirt and blouse. And to the extent we even have independent candidates winning as MPs. So if we lock it out that way, then that means we are elbowing out persons who would have thought that, look, I can stand on my own without any political party, and the people will still vote for me.
Okay.
Sometimes they vote for independent and they'll defy all these political parties, these huge parties, NDC, MPP. They will ignore the two of us, like what happened in Williamsey.
Yeah.
You know, the current MP there, they defy NDC, defy MPP, and decided to pick a young man who says he's independent.
Yeah.
And so, in a situation like that, assuming he resigns today, are we going to say another independent should replace him? That is where we have difficulties.
Okay.
And so, let's look at it. I'm sure the Constitutional Review Committee will take a look at it critically and see how we can navigate through this process without any difficulties. But I'm foreseeing a challenge in that one, because the constituents might want a personality other than political parties.
All right. Thank you.
In terms of replacement and all that.
Thank you so much, Rashid, for speaking to us. Thank you.
I'm grateful. So
that's Rashid Tanko. He is a Deputy Director of Elections for the National Democratic Congress. In fact, he was Dr. Edward Amani Boama's deputy leading up to the election when the NDC was going into the polls. Let's go to the NPP side and speak to Evans Nimakun. He's Director of Elections and Research, or that has been taken away now, of the New Patriotic Party. Evans, you're welcome to Channel One Newsroom. Situation Room on Channel One TV.
Hello, thank you for having me, and good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you. Rashid Tanko says they cannot trust you. The last time your General Secretary issued a statement that you are not contesting Ablekuma North, you showed up anyway, and you fought fiercely. So now that you've said you're going to Tamale Central, it should be taken with a pinch of salt.
Well, thank you, my brother, for having me, and good afternoon to your listeners. I think for that young man you spoke with, when the New Patriotic Party is erasing our arguments on solid facts and truth, he will run away. And what is the basis of this? The New Patriotic Party thinks that definitely once a vacancy has occurred, that will occasion a possible by-election to be conducted by the Electoral Commission. And the party is saying that under the circumstance, we want to honor our brother Alhaji Dr. Mutala. We think that this is the best way to honor him. Even though, if you look at the parliamentary records, sometimes Murtala has been a bit sarcastic. But that notwithstanding, the New Patriotic Party thinks that there's no need for us to put up a contest in Tamale Central. If Tanko would not want to appreciate this gesture from the New Patriotic Party, it's up to you. In fact, their national chairman, Mr. Citiuation Ketia, said that he welcomes this gesture. We are not demanding any condition from the NDC with respect to by-elections in Akotia. But for him to say that we knew that Tamale Central will not be any good ground for us, it is the reason why we are pulling out. That is up to him. I think that the decision by the New Patriotic Party to honor Murtala, who worked and got demise on line of duty for Ghana, is the way to go. And so he can raise all those issues. But, I mean, that should mark the difference between Tanko and his national chairman, Mr. Citiuation Ketia.
But it's fair. It's fair when he says you are known to be inconsistent in the past, and to the extent of your inconsistency in the past, you cannot be trusted in the future. So if you say you're not going to do one thing, you should be expected to do just that thing. In fact, he said if they weren't extra prepared and ready in Ablekuma North, your inconsistent position would have cost them the seat. And so that's why until the ballot papers are printed and there's no elephant symbol on it, they can't trust you. And that is a fair view, isn't it?
I think we should have a very serious conversation on this platform than to take along a personal opinion of Rashid Tanko.
A personal opinion based on historical facts.
No, his personal opinion. The position of the New Patriotic Party has not changed. We have said that when it comes to Ablekuma North constituency, as a party, we are not going to be part of it because the Electoral Commission, per their own pronouncement, changed the New Patriotic Party. They have submitted their views, opinions, historical records on Ablekuma North. They had made presentation to Parliament and have said that we are left with 3 polling stations to complete the exercise for Ablekuma North. So, was it not too bizarre for EC to say that we're going to do a rerun of 19 polling stations? Was it not? So the party National Executive Committee, closed with the authority, said that we were not going to be part of it. And you should know that the National Executive Committee took a strong position against the candidate's decision to be part of that exercise. So as a party, we withdrew from that because the conduct of the EC was so questionable. That can be put to rest. My brother, we as a country have lost our brothers in a very bizarre circumstance. And we are saying that in order to commensurate and sympathize with the immediate family, Tanko can take himself out of the equation. But we feel that there's an immediate family, there's an extended family, and there's a whole Ghana that has been bedeviled with this unfortunate situation. So under the circumstance, we didn't want to go into any contestation.
Okay.
I think this should be a commendable arrangement. Now, for Alhaji Tanko to be saying that we know that it's not going to be a viable enterprise for us, and on that note, we are not contesting. Who told you that NDC could have taken Ayawaso West Ugon from the New Patriotic Party? I've said always that no 2 elections are the same. And I'm saying that you should just support the position of Citiuation Ketia, the national chairman of the NDC, against Rashid Tanko, and you see where we stand.
Okay.
I think that we shouldn't take these issues for granted.
Let me ask you a question I asked him before you take leave of us. that in the future we shouldn't field candidates from opposing sides for an election in a seat that is occupied by a party. So Tamale North, Tamale Central now is occupied by the NDC. There is a by-election occasioned by death. NPP should not contest. There's a by-election in Akwetia, a seat that was occupied by the NPP. The NDC should not contest. Legally, the Constitution says there must be a by-election. As to how that by-election will be conducted is a different matter, so that you could have a gentleman's agreement and say, this is what we are going to do henceforth. What is your personal view on this?
Well, so for me, it must not lie within the pronunciation of men. It must be grounded in the Constitution. And if you check, the Article 1125 as amended says that in an event of death, it takes within 60 days. And so we must look at the scenario. If we are looking at the scenario of somebody passing, a demise of an MP is different. If you are looking at a situation where we have like the Citiuation's situation, it must be different. So you need to look at the scenario. But I don't disagree that enough by-elections that give us unnecessary contestation. We've seen Akwetia by-elections, 6 polling stations. We've seen Tripoli. We've seen Talansi and all those ones. And I think that as a nation, we need to look into the future with an arrangement that would not really disintegrate us, but rather brings us together.
Is it your prayer and wish that NDC withdraws from Akwetia?
I mean, we've not extended, as a party, we've not extended any conditions to them. I mean, if they so wish to participate in Akwetia, Akwetia by-election has been set by the EC to be 2nd September, and New Patriotic Party is ready to honor NS Kumi with a victory. And that is going to happen.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. That's Evans Nemako. He's Director of Elections and Research with the New Patriotic Party. So, Fred, those are the 2 issues. Of course, here we'll be following that and then bringing it. It's just sad that it's too early to be discussing this, but we have to discuss it. I mean, NS Kumi was a personal friend. He was my senior at the law school. He was due to have been called to the bar this October. After all the fight, he has died, and we are looking for a replacement. Mursala, very jovial, very strong, very, powerful guy, is dead, and we're thinking of a replacement. I don't know. I don't know, but it's a whole bizarre. It's sad.
It's sad, as you said. It's sad that within a period of about 6 or 7 days, somebody loses his life, and now you need to think about or you talk about what happens next. But, that is life. You understand? That is life. Life would always move on. You would pass away. Once there's life, the people will continue with the things they have to do. And for me, with this issue of replacement or no replacement or election or no contest or no contest, for me, I am with the school of thought which believes that, look, people are elected individually. I may like you, I may not like the other person. So I may vote for you not because of your political party, but because of you. There's someone like me who would decide that I want to contest as an independent. I don't want to be on the ticket of the NDC or the MPP. The people may like me in a by-election to replace the person who's left. Why should I be stopped from contesting? Why should you automatically bring somebody to replace the other person without going back to the people to say, this is what we want or this is not what we want? So for me, I believe that regardless of how sad the incidents may be,
the democratic process must be followed.
We need to deepen our democracy. We should learn to stop the violence. We should learn to reduce the financial burden and improve our democracy.
Thank you so much. That's Fred Tetejabano, is my colleague here in the Channel 1 newsroom. I am Umaru Sandamado. This has been Citiuation Room on Channel 1 TV. We'll return next week with another episode. Meanwhile, we'll be bringing you live coverage of the funeral of the 6 persons out of 8 whose funeral will be held Friday at the Independence Square here on Channel 1 TV.